at any rate, what I do, as you've seen, and the more I do my voiceover on this, especially after 131 and now 132 days, I realize probably 60 or 70% of what I say on any given day I've already said before. Not exactly, but the general gist of it. And frankly, the only purpose this may serve in the long run is when this script gets produced and becomes world famous, or even, I mean, it would be super cool if this got produced in some semblance of what it is now, or the earlier version, or who knows what. And there's some film studies course or some writing course, and they go, hey, this guy, for some reason, he decided to document his writing every step of the way, and we've got a full diary, journal, whatever you want to call it, video, something of his whole writing process. And let's just see what all he went through to get to the spot where he was able to sell the script. I mean, that's frankly, that is the dream, and I'm under no illusions that's going to happen. But as I've said many times, I've probably got at least I have someone to send this to who is a working producer and who wants content. And as I said, I'm writing it for a specific person whose name I can't divulge. And so, and the other thing that I haven't really talked about, speaking of not divulging her name, is that this would be way different than something she's done before. So if you happen to watch this after you've seen the film, which again is a total pie in the sky dream of mine, it just might be sort of interesting. And who knows, it might be that I sell the script and then the producer tells me to yank all this stuff off YouTube and don't give away what's going to happen. But what I figure is, I mean, honestly, unless something totally crazy happens, and I know it won't, but I'm just saying this for the sake of argument, if 10,000 or 100,000 people watch this and they suddenly know about the story and they know it's going to happen. But as I've said many times, I'm under no illusions that anything like that's going to happen. All right, that was a nice tangent on day 132, but let's get back to the script. So I say let's get back to the script, and I've basically been rewriting this scene while I've been talking, so that's good. So now as Lexi and Holly go along, it kind of sours. Their conversation sort of goes south a little bit, and Lexi is realizing that she is the only one that Holly has really taken under her wing or spent time with, which, in one way could be called flattering, but in another way, it might sort of seem creepy and stalkerish and like, why me? In not necessarily a good way. What is it about going up at the end of your sentences instead of coming down to a period? So that's kind of what I'm playing with in this scene. I'm also seeing, well, it's not too bad. I'm on page 21, knowing that this is going to be approximately 105 pages. That's sort of the area I'm going for. So based on that, the act break would be somewhere around 25, 26, and they aren't even to the go-kart place yet. And as you know, in the previous version, really the act break was when Lexi and Luke got taken, like the movie. So that's sort of what I'm thinking about always in the back of my mind, is where am I in the script? I mean, if I'm on use two extremes. If I'm on page 6 and I feel, I'm writing the inciting incident / catalyst, or if I'm on page 17 and I haven't gotten to it yet, I know that's bad news. I don't know why. I've mentioned this before, and maybe I shouldn't pay attention to it, but my voice just gets so nasally. I listen back to it, and even now I can just hear myself, and I don't like it. I don't like it. Maybe I'll start talking with a British accent, and then no one will know. I think I just need to control my breathing better. I've watched some YouTube videos on it. Oops, little secret action going on there. I've watched some YouTube videos on it, and I don't feel like I'm violating what they say, but I think it's just the longer you talk, especially without a break for the most part, and your nose just, your sinuses sort of get clogged up, especially maybe when you are not speaking from the diaphragm. I don't know. Very exciting, I know. This, as I said, for historical purposes, the only value in this may come if this becomes a produced movie, which it better after all this work, right? So the other thing is, this is getting to be a pretty darn long scene. I think in this debate section, which we're still in. Wow, that was an embarrassing yawn. In this debate section, I don't think the scene should be more than 2.5 pages. Even when their dialogue, I mean, if you have a solid page of dialogue with real short lines, it's probably only going to take 45 seconds of screen time, maybe only 40, depending exactly what all they say, as opposed to big long speeches, which are obviously going to take longer. But I feel like this scene, I don't know how long it is because I can't see it right now, but I feel like it's way too long. All right, let's see here. Lexi's looking at the side view mirror. Holly. Oh my gosh, I'm so sorry. Holly assumes or kind of deduces that Lexi is thinking of Jake. Oh, okay, that's the end of the day. That's a pretty weak ending, both for the voiceover and for the script, that knight in shining armor. Not a fan, but that's what happens in early drafts, even though this isn't an early draft, technically speaking. But this was a new scene I'm writing. So cut me some slack. All right, day 132 officially in the can. Thanks again. See ya.